This is the JR Wisdom channel. Once again, I appreciate you guys tuning in. And if this is your first time checking out one of my videos, make sure you gently hit that subscribe button along with the bell. That way you receive all the notifications for all of my future videos. And check out some of my old ones. You may find something that you like, you know what I mean? Anyway, let's get into it. Haven't done one of these videos in a while in reference to these rogue pastors and things of that nature, but I felt that this one was fitting because this is about a man who can't control his emotions, lost control of his emotions, and he did something very tragic as a quote-unquote man of the cloth. And I know everybody who's watching this is going to have their own opinions about whether he was a man of the cloth or not, but all of a sudden, once anyone happens to go outside of that arena of things and conduct such a heinous crime, they basically quote unquote were never a man of the cloth. So anyway, let's get into it. This video is going to be about this pastor named Sylvester Ofori. He immigrated from Ghana a few years ago, and he's 35 years old. He's a self-proclaimed prophet, and he's also a pastor and a motivational speaker, and that is of the Floodgates of Heaven Church in Orlando, Florida. And they have over 60,000 followers on their Facebook page, or flock, or whatever you want to call it, congregation, so on and so forth, total. So he has a pretty good following. So if you didn't hear about this thing, he committed horrible, atrocious, one of the worst things you can do, or if not, is the worst thing that you can do. And he took a life, and that life was of his wife. Her name was Barbara Tommey. They were married since 2015, I believe, from my recollection. And this happened just 2 days shy of his 5th anniversary. So basically, before I bring you up to what actually happened, him and his wife were separated about 3 months ago. I guess she claimed that he was abusive and she didn't like the way she was treated, so she walked away, and I believe they were doing divorce proceedings. I don't know what the laws are in Florida, but most places you have to be separated for a year, so I'm only assuming. So they weren't living together. They had their own separate places. And I guess he was attempting to get her back at some time throughout this, but it was unsuccessful, as most men do. They try to get their wife back, and it doesn't really work out, especially if it's too far gone. So with him, I guess there was like you could see a trail of him posting things on social media like men do, and men and women do, but men who are in control of their emotions, they'll go on social media and post things here and there, even about him being compassionate. And I think it was either the day prior or a couple of days prior, about just as there's a good side, there's a bad side. I don't know the exact quote, but he can be just as extreme. His love being extreme, and I guess him saying his hatred can be extreme as well. So anyway, like I said, she claimed that he was an abusive man. She told her sister, I believe they even had counseling as well from his spiritual father, which is also a gentleman from Ghana who actually flew in. His name is Prophet Elisha Salifu Amoako. He's the founder and general overseer of Alive Chapel International. And like I said, he also acts as Sylvester's spiritual father. So they've done counseling with him as well. And she basically was saying that they were having issues. Her sister knew about it, and you can see, and I'll share a video, the link to it, you can check it in the description. There's a video that was recorded the day before, which I believe was September 7th, where Sylvester actually is getting into an argument with his brother-in-law, so to speak, about, him. I guess his wife was over at the house and him trying to get his wife to come back. And they get into a real heated argument, and this is where he actually threatens to take his wife's life at this point. And you can see on the video, like, we're calling the police, we got to get a restraining order, so on and so forth. but she was kind of hesitant, as you can see in the video, to do anything, maybe out of fear, who knows. So with that being said, the next day, which was September 8th, just before 9 a.m., his wife, Barbara, she works at Navy Federal Credit Union. And I guess there were people out there waiting to go in. This is right before open a business at 9 a.m. He had a rental car. He was kind of staking out the place, waiting for her to kind of talk to her, because I'm pretty sure she was giving him the silent treatment, as she should, because of his abusive nature, or basically cut all ties and just wasn't talking to him. So this can drive a man who's not in control of his emotions completely bonkers, drive him crazy, and he doesn't sit back and think about it. Can drive him completely neurotic. And that's basically where this guy was headed. As a pastor who has counseled, or should have been counseling, and I believe if you look him up, he actually offers prophetic counseling and marriage counseling and things like that. He's given this advice to people, but he can't take it himself. It's, I guess, because he's a quote-unquote man of the cloth, that his wife shouldn't disobey him in this act. So basically he lays in wait till his wife shows up. He is following her, obviously, probably trying to get her to come back, probably trying to talk her out of it. Follows her all the way to the front door of the business. He pulls out his gun. I guess she's not listening. Pulls out his gun, lets one off. She hits the ground. He empties 6 more into her head, and then walks away casually, gets in his rental vehicle that he had, and drives home. And it's all caught on camera out there at the business. So the police come and arrest him. He acts like everything, nonchalant, appears before the judge, so on and so forth, like he was expecting this all along. So this Elisha Salifu Amoako, forgive my pronunciation, he basically said that this was a calculated witchcraft attack on Sylvester. This was a demon that possessed Sylvester. And other people, I believe, were saying that he was starting to, quote unquote, backslide into occultism, or slide into witchcraft, which some people can say that's a form of religion, or it is a form of religion, and it's not to be looked at negatively. But this is what his spiritual father was saying, that he was backsliding from Christianity into occultism or witchcraft, and that this so-called demon took possession of him, and that's why he committed this atrocious act. We all, when we do things like this, we all try to make excuses for people, and I'm pretty sure that might be his defense as well. He might say something like that, he's mentally unstable, which he, ultimately is. But as far as being in your right state of mind, you're a pastor, you need to be in control of your emotions. You counsel people on this. You're supposed to be a shining example, prophetic, according to you, prophetic, to be able to know the ways of people and to know the ways of your wife. And evidently you didn't know, and she claimed that you abused her. So in things like this, I know it's frowned upon, but you can't just go around doing things like this. I guess the excuse was made that you feared that you might lose all of your possessions in this process by getting a divorce. Things happen. Pastors get divorced. It's a part of life. But now you're 35 years old. Your wife was 27 years old, and here you are. You're going to be in prison for however much amount of time, when you could have just went through with the divorce. But as a man, we have to be more in control of our emotions. We can't just jump off the deep end at the sight of heartbreak, so on and so forth. This is a part of growth, just like, as I'm pretty sure you counseled several of your parishioners on this and done marriage counseling that have been going through divorce and something similar. So for you to for you to be witnessing it and to be in it yourself, to take, you wouldn't have recommended that or advised that to any of your parishioners. So why did you go and do it? But it's this rage that some men can't control, and it goes all the way back to childhood as well. If it's something that you can't control, you'll never be in control of your life, and anybody can control you with your anger. So it's something that must be possessed. When I say possessed, you must possess that ability to control your anger. And there's nothing much else I can say. And this goes for any man who may be facing divorce or watching this, and it may be on the horizon. Get your emotions in check. Now is the time. It is an ordeal. It's probably one of the biggest battles you ever had to fight, but it's something that you just have to be prepared for. Seek counseling, seek guidance, but don't ever let it turn into violence. Trust me, I've been there. You have that feeling to do certain things, but that's where you just have to have that discipline to be able to change that frequency, so to speak, from anger and depression and whatever else may be going on. You have to go within. So with that being said, that's my thoughts on it. If you guys have any issues, or please don't go this route if you're having similar issues and thoughts. So with that being said, let me know your comments below. If you want to get any advice, have any topics you'd like me to cover, or want to do a one-on-one with me, make sure all the links are in the description. Reach out to me. Be happy to talk to you, provide you with some guidance and all that good stuff. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Peace be upon you and the mercy and blessings of the Almighty. And remember, anything lost can be found again except for time wasted. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure y'all check out my other videos, and I'll see you soon. Peace.